Okay, today's gardening tip is the cheap dad alert. A lot of people are surprised by how many things that you can get new plants just by cutting them off and sticking them in water. Okay? And so I'll give you an example. Many of you know what a coleus looks like. And so you can go through and just take a coleus, cut off the coleus, stick it in a glass of water, and as you can see, it will create its own roots. I've noticed that it works almost always with a plant that has a really fleshy stem, and so coleus is that way. Another one, and by the way, here we go, we get it in roots. By the way, these roots are probably too long. When the roots just first started going well, then I'll usually go through and pot them up in dirt, and so there's my new plant coming on board, and I can plant that out in the garden. But here's another plant that is similar. This one is called Mexican petunia. And again, I saw this at a planting at Missouri State University. Don't tell anybody. And so I went and took some cuttings of it, stuck it in a Ziploc bag, brought it home, and started it this way. Again, I went through, took a cutting, okay? And one thing that people don't know is most of the roots, not always, but most of the roots are going to form right here where the stem meets that first set of leaves, okay? So we want to leave that part on, and then we're going to pull off these bottom leaves like that, okay? And that area where I pulled off those leaves right there, they call that a node. Again, I'm going to stick that in water here. And then in usually about 10 days, 2 weeks, it'll form some roots. Then we stick it back in dirt. And then here's my new plant that I did from a cutting probably a month ago. And you can see it's ready to go. I stick it in the garden. And I love Mexican petunia because I love that dark green. It will get really tall. By the end of the year, it'll be almost 4 or 5 foot tall. And again, I started this from a cutting that I stole from Missouri State University. Comes back year after year. By the way, that dirt is terrible. It grows in terrible dirt. But I love the dark green and the purple. But again, same way. If you go through and you find a plant like a coleus or a Mexican petunia that has that thick, fleshy stem, give it a cut. Pull off the bottom leaves. That's where the roots are going to start. And you get free plants. That's my tip for today.